Hey guys, so I was going to do a 2016 wrap-up video, but it's already 2017 now, so I'm kind of late on that. So I had this idea of doing something with potatoes, and it started out as a simple idea, and then it just became really overblown and became this thing that would take me weeks to do, and then that would pretty much defeat the whole purpose of doing like a 2016 to 2017 New Year video. So I'm just going to talk to you instead. Every year I try to make some New Year's resolutions. I always aim to try to become the best version of myself possible. So things like get fit, become a better artist, or be more confident, or be a better communicator. And I mean, the common through line for all these things is that I'm trying to add to myself. I want to become better. Now let me just say that I'm a totally average guy. And I'm not complaining, I'm only average and I wish I was amazing or whatever. I just know that if I asked like a couple of people in my real life to use a few words to describe me, they would say things like, oh, he's nice, he's quiet, he's a little awkward, stuff like that. So basically I'm not terrible, but I'm not outstanding either. So when it came to creating art and comics and this YouTube channel, and these are all things that inherently absorb and express part of who you are, I wasn't too sure where to start, because I knew that who I am isn't, popular by the standards of the internet, and I'm not even popular in real life. But at the same time, if I didn't be myself and I tried to make myself be cool, I would just look like another person trying to be like someone else, fronting and not being authentic. And this is something that happens in all art forms. So we have heroes, we aspire to be like people, and we copy their styles, or we try to emulate them. We try to learn everything we can. And I admit, like in the past, if I saw like an artist doing that to another artist, I would feel annoyed and angry. But I realized that it's wrong to angrily shame these people, because a lot of the time they're not being malicious, they're just another developing artist trying to find their way and following their heroes. I mean, there are times when it is malicious or when it is extremely blatant, and in those situations then it's probably not great. But at the same time, we should just kindly correct them rather than angrily tear them down. And the thing is, I'm guilty of it too. So you've probably seen something that I've drawn or a video that I made that seems like a pale comparison of something else that you've seen before. Hopefully you see it more as inspired by rather than copying. And all of this made me think about the line between inspiration versus copying. Where do we draw the line, and how do we know which one is which? But I think the difference is being yourself. So if you're really trying your best to be yourself and be authentic, then naturally you're going to bring a part of yourself to the table that's going to mix in with those things that you're inspired by and create something totally new. And that made me realize that when we evaluate an artist's work, we shouldn't just evaluate one element of it, for example, how they draw an eye, because that's unrealistic. The way we should evaluate an artist's work is their entire body of work, from the way they paint to the ideas that they have and the things that they express. All these things go into making an artist unique and their style unique. When I started my webcomic, I had two very specific goals in mind. So number one was to practice storytelling. So this was extremely practical, and it's kind of like how an artist might go to life drawing to focus on their anatomy skills. So I stripped away everything else so I could focus just on story. And I know that my stories aren't super unique or original. I'm just trying my best to learn and to grow. And the second reason why I did the webcomic was to express myself freely. Now, I live a really average life, but I feel like there's a lot of beauty in things that happen in our day-to-day lives. So for example, whenever I go traveling, I'm always fascinated by all the people on the plane. Like, where are they going? Who are they going to meet? What's their background? And I mean, I guess maybe it's boring to a lot of other people, but for me that's like fascinating. Another example would be when I was really young, I would go to Chinese class, and there was me and another boy, and we were the only kids that had Game Boys. So what we did was, we swapped cartridges. I think I gave him like The Simpsons and he gave me Double Dragon. And we never got around to returning those cartridges to each other. And then, the term ended and I never went back to Chinese class. And for some reason for me, that affected me so badly, because I felt like he's never going to get his cartridge back. And even though I knew that I wasn't getting my cartridge back either, so it wasn't like it was an unfair deal, but I just felt so bad that I was never going to see this guy again, and he was never ever going to be able to play Double Dragon again. And yeah, I mean, that's completely ridiculous, but just weird things like that I felt like had so much emotional weight to me at the time, because I was 8 years old, so don't judge me. But I just want to express little things like that I think were really amazing about growing up. And it's worked out okay so far. So the people at Line made my webtoon a recommended title for 2 weeks. I was featured on Tabasic's Daily Snack a few times, and if we bring this into YouTube, the most personal video on my channel has been viewed like almost 300,000 times. I don't make enough money from my art and my comics to survive. I do freelance graphic design and web design work on the side, and at the end of the day, I'm still a potato. But 2016 taught me that sometimes the way forward isn't by adding to myself or trying to be like someone else, but rather it's about subtraction, about revealing the best version of my potato self.